Hi, friends, and welcome to the Autoimmune Mom Podcast. I'm your host, Allie. This is a space for moms navigating life with autoimmune disease, the exhaustion, the guilt, the strength it takes to show up, and the hope that we can still live full, meaningful lives even when our bodies make things harder. Each week, we'll have honest conversations with moms living with autoimmune disease, share practical support, and remind each other we are not alone in this journey. Before we dive in, if this podcast resonates with you, it would mean so much to me if you would follow or subscribe wherever you're listening, leave a review, and share this episode with another mom who needs it. You can also connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Autoimmune Mom Podcast, where I share encouragement, resources, updates about new episodes. If you're looking for extra support, you can download my free Autoimmune Mom Survival Guide through the link in my bio. Let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Autoimmune Mom Podcast. Today is going to be a little bit different. I am sharing my story of my recent health insurance disaster that is ongoing and current. So this will likely be a two-part series because I don't have a resolution to the story yet. And I am also going to bring in a guest in a couple of weeks that might be able to shed some light on all of this for us. So I'm excited to be here. I'm not excited about the topic. Let's just say it's very much a work in progress here. So if you follow me on social media, you may have heard me talking a little bit about my health insurance. So backstory on it all, I am in real estate, so self-employed, and I don't have coverage offered to me through real estate. So I have to purchase it separately. My husband is in commercial construction here in the Charleston area, Gilbert and Lee, go get 'em. And they're a younger company and they didn't offer health insurance. They gave a monthly stipend for quite some time. And then they recently started offering it, but there's a long story as to why it didn't work well for us. So we chose not to, and we continue to use the same insurance we used last year. So last year we paid over $17,000 for health insurance out of pocket. So that's over $1,000 a month. It was not easy. I hated it. But it was the cheapest coverage that I could find that covered my rheumatologist and my treatments. So there's two ways that the rheumatologist can order these medications. The first way, the doctor actually purchases it from the pharmaceutical company. They purchase it from the pharmaceutical company. It gets shipped to them, or the infusion center. My doctor does it in-house. So I would go there, they give me the infusion, and before they give you the infusion, in every single January, they rerun everybody's insurance and get a 1-year approval to be treated for this. And then every single month, they rerun the prior authorization and get another approval. So I'm on Orencia infusions every 4 weeks, and they get billed between like $8,000 and $9,000 every month. So they are not messing around with these prior authorizations. If I owe $5, they will not give me the infusion until I pay the $5. So every month they'll call and say, "We'll see you tomorrow. This is what you owe." Blah 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 blah. Most of the time, I don't owe anything. Sometimes it's like I had to make my deductible or whatever, and it would be a couple $100. So just depend on which insurance we've had. So anyways, that's how it has run. The other way that doctors' offices do it is it's just a regular prescription as if anything else. They call it into the pharmacy, and then you have to go to an infusion center and get infused there. So that is not how my doctor does it. Just put that out there. They do it the way where they purchase the medication, get sent to them, they infuse me, they deal with all of the back and forth. So either way, I've had the year pre-approval. I've been getting it every month and it's been fine. Well, 2 months ago, I got a call saying I no longer, they had to cancel my infusion tomorrow because the insurance company has denied it. And when they started doing some digging, this is the rheumatologist's office, they realized that not only have they denied it, but the insurance company has not made a payment to the rheumatologist since June of 2025. And my outstanding balance is $82,000. So that is not an easy phone call. But my initial reaction was just to laugh because that is not happening. I'm not paying you $82,000. I paid my premiums. I had insurance. They give you the pre-approval. Like you in my opinion, there's two people at fault here, and I'm the third person, and I got no fault. The rheumatologist should have noticed well before June. I mean, well before now. It's almost an entire year that they haven't been paid. And the insurance company should not be giving out prior authorizations every single month if they haven't paid a bill on any of it since June. There's a reason for that. So there's some disconnect going on there. I don't know. But
I'm not on the hook for this. I've already met my obligations. That's in my head. So the rheumatologist's office is saying, let us dig into this. We'll figure it out, but you're definitely not going to get your infusion. They've denied you and you're done. Okay, great. So I don't hear anything from them for a week. And I also don't hear anything from the doctor about okay, this is our next plan. Nothing. Nobody says anything. Luckily, I have the sweetest infusion nurse. Her kids go to the same school as my kids. She's the best. I love her dearly. And she's been advocating for me inside, behind the scenes a little bit. And they did end up calling me 2 weeks ago, the rheumatologist, and they wanted to let me know that bill is not on me because I had said to my infusion nurse, I said, people lose their houses over these kind of bills. Do I need to put my house in a trust? What am I going to do? I don't have $82,000 to pay these people. I'm not going to file bankruptcy over this. And she assured me that, well, she didn't assure me, but the woman in the office that does the billing, she assured me that this is a bill on the business to business end and not on the patient end. So that is not happening. I'll feel better when it's all resolved, but for right now, they're assuring me that they realize that this is not a me problem and they're fighting with the insurance company over it. And it's on the business to business side, not the patient side. So praise Jesus for that. But until it's fully resolved, I don't think I'll be really comfortable with the whole situation. So then a week passes and the rheumatologist calls me back and they're like, we can't get anybody to answer us. We don't know what's going on. Can you call the insurance company and figure out what the problem is? So I call the insurance company and actually I got answers pretty quickly that they didn't get. So I explained the whole situation. I said, the guy on the other end was difficult to understand, but I'm pretty sure he said that it was he sees the yearly approval, he sees the monthly approval, and he also sees that it hasn't been paid out. And he was going to manually override and manually request payment be made immediately. I said, okay, great. Now, how do I know that that's happened or not? Do I get some kind of notification or what's the deal with that? And he just said, well, you'll get an explanation of benefits if and when they do pay it. And if they don't pay it, you won't get anything. You just have to call back in 3 weeks. It's going to take a minimum of 3 weeks. So this express override is a minimum of 3 weeks. We're at about 2 weeks right now, and I haven't heard anything. I haven't gotten an explanation of benefits, none of that. So we will see where that lands me. But in the meantime, I have not had any treatments. I've missed 2 infusions now. I feel okay, actually. I think I needed a break from the infusion because I was, as most of you would know, these medications, they suppress your immune system. So I've never been one to be sick ever, but this medication is actually working and it is suppressing my immune system. And so I was getting sick all the time, like every 10 days, something else. I'd be sick for 4 days, feel good for 6 days, and then get sick again. So I feel good right now. I have more energy. I'm outside in the sun more, and that always helps me. I'm a definitely vitamin D deficient person, so getting outside helps. And I'm feeling pretty good. I have a little bit of tenderness in this wrist, which is typically the first place I get it. And that's usually gone in the morning. I think it's because I hold my phone there and I have a smartwatch and I don't know if you're aware, but smartwatches and earbuds and microwaves, they all give off EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies or something. And that's not really good for you. They're terrible for you, especially the earbuds. Don't put those in your ears. It's like putting a tiny microwave in your head, so close to your brain. So it really bothers my wrist. So if I wear it, I only wear it a couple hours a day. I try not to wear it at night anymore. So I miss track of my sleeping schedule and things like that, but it's not worth it. So I'm feeling pretty good. Part of the reason for that is because I did start taking a GLP-1 because the studies out there now and as we've talked about on this show, how it helps reduce inflammation and stress on the body and how it's an immune modulator. And again, I pay that out of pocket. That's a lot cheaper than the Orencia infusions, but it isn't cheap by any stretch of the imagination. And so that has really been, I think, a game changer because I could never miss 2 infusions and feel good, but I can now. I feel really, really good. So some people hate GLP-1s. Some people like GLP-1s. Some people think there's too many side effects. I have felt great on them. I don't have any side effects. I do tirzepatide. I don't do the other ones. And I feel really good, minus this little wrist thing. And if I took it a leave, that would go away. I just really try not to take any of that stuff if I don't need to. If this doesn't clear up in an hour, then I will take it just to get the inflammation out of there. But that might be once a week I have to take something. So I'm feeling good. I'm nervous about I did at one point in my life with rheumatoid not take medications for several years, and I did that for way too long, and I won't do that again. But as it stands right now with my insurance, I actually canceled it because I mentioned that it was the only one, the cheapest one that I could find that had my rheumatologist and which I thought covered my medications, which apparently they don't. They do the other model. They do the model where they cover the model where the doctor sends a prescription to the pharmacy and then you go to the infusion center, and that's the one that they cover. But they didn't tell me that. So either way, I have canceled that insurance. I can't even use that insurance at a urgent care up the street. So if one of my kids needed an antibiotic for an ear infection or something, which they haven't in years, but I would pay cash pay over there because my insurance wouldn't work. So $17,000 plus anything else that we would pay because there's no other doctors around here that take it. That was. So anyway, we canceled that. So nice that we get a little cushion of money here, but we don't have coverage right now. So we're in the process of trying to pick another insurance, and I'm not just going to buy one to have one. Like, we can take the time that it takes for me to figure out what our next best move is, not only for my medications, but financially. And, we want to do what's best for the family, which is something that I struggle with a lot, is this disease and how it's been a financial burden on our family. But that isn't going to change, unfortunately. So I don't have a resolution to the outstanding $82,000 other than they tell me it's not going to be on me. But again, until I am actually seeing a zero balance there, I won't feel all that comfortable about it. And then we are pursuing going through my husband's employer for health insurance. We'll see if that's it. But for right now, we'll just cash pay whatever we have to. I mean, honestly, is it going to be this $17,000 worth of cash pay? No, it's probably not. It's not going to be. If we had to cash pay something, knock on wood. It is a bit of a gamble, but we'll just cash pay. That's our plan for until I find a good plan that's going to work for us, that I don't have to keep changing every year, because it is hard and it is impossible. It's just changing things all the time. Like, we don't have established care for primary care because every year our insurance changes, and then I can't see that doctor because the rheumatologist takes priority. We go by the rheumatologist first because I've been seeing her for 7 years, and to change somebody now would take months and months and months to get an appointment. And then I have to catch her up on my whole history and everything. I'm like, no. So rheumatology takes priority when we are choosing our health insurance coverage, which means 99% of the time that we have to get new primary cares every year, which isn't fun. And to be honest, I just don't go because I'm like doctor burnt out. So, if any of this rings true to anyone else, please reach out and let's have a conversation, because part 2 of this conversation is going to be me interviewing Terry Adirim, who is an upcoming author. She's written a book, it's being released soon, called The Practical Patient, and it's basically a guide to how to survive the medical system. She's got extensive background in working in hospitals. She's a doctor. She just sees this gap in patients and coverage and doctors, and she's trying to bridge the gap, because actually she was I think pediatric oncologist or pediatric ER. She worked in pediatric ER. And then people with sick children would come in with binders of books, and I'm sure she'll mention this when we talk. And they know all of this information about their children. It's filled in this binder, and they come into the ER with an emergent situation with their child has got cancer or whatever, and they pass this off. And she's always said that she listened to the parents, because 99% of the time the parents know what they're talking about. They know their kid better than she does. They know their medical history better. They know how they react to things better. They know what they're looking at better. Like, this is just a kid that came through the door today, and to her, that she wants to help and trying to help. But there's a gap between that parent and people like us who are living with these autoimmune diseases and have binders of information, about not only our health, but our medical records and our insurance policies and everything else. So I'm interested to see what she has to say about my situation. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but she's going to share some tools and tricks and tips and things like that. So this conversation is going to be on pause for a couple of weeks. I have a very busy June. The next couple of weeks are kind of crazy busy. So I couldn't get her on my schedule until July. So that will be happening after the 4th. And hopefully by then I'll have more information about the insurance issue here and we'll see how I'm feeling. We have a lot of traveling in this next month and a half. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm on the road and things are different, I don't sleep as well and I don't eat as well and all of that jazz happens. It tends to have an impact on my health and how I'm feeling. We will see if that's the case. And yeah, that's it right now. The rheumatologist did call me because my friend and the infusion nurse kind of leaned on her, and I never called her back. So I did drop that ball. It's just this time of year is crazy busy, and to be quite honest, I think they're going to tell me I'm going to have to take like a low dose prednisone or something like that, and I'm not feeling the need to do that right now. So and I if I have to get a new insurance anyways. So why would I if I don't feel like I need to take anything like that right now? I would rather not, and maybe in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I will have a new insurance and I can get back on this infusion train and see how that goes. So that's my hope. But we are working through options for insurance. One of the options is we just cover me and not my kids and husband and do cash pay because they are super healthy, knock on wood, and maybe we get catastrophic care for them because the cost is outrageous. It's not sustainable. Sometimes real estate's really good and sometimes real estate's really not good. And I'm very busy with activity in real estate right now, but it's not turning into paychecks, which happens. It will eventually. It's just buyers in our area are taking their sweet time, which is good. You want them to be happy with their decision. And it's not about me and a paycheck. It's about them and their house. So that's kind of where we stand on that. So sometimes real estate is good and it's not a big nut to swallow to pay out all of that money for insurance. And sometimes it's not that good and it is a struggle. So we're trying to figure out what's the best for everybody involved, which keeps my treatments going. But for right now, the controversial GLP-1 seems to be working very well. And with 17, where I'm actually at 17 years now, 17 years with this disease, I know when things are flaring up and when they're not. And I know I've been without medications before. Hopefully I won't again, but if that's the case, then we will roll with it and figure it out. But for right now, I'm feeling really good and I'm thankful for that. And yeah, I actually feel better since I came off of it because I'm not sick all the time. Outside of this one little wrist, everything else is good. My rings still fit. Usually my hands will swell up if that's kind of the first thing that goes, and then I gotta take my rings off. I can't do it. So anyway, that's that. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out. I would love to talk to anybody else who's been in this situation because I do want to have really solid, good questions to ask Terry when we speak about her book and about her advice on what to do if you're in a situation like this and how we can make things better. We did talk a little bit about that when I was speaking to her the other day about, the medical system is broken. It's not working great for people like me. And the problem, as I see it, and I'm not trying to get political, I'll never do that. I'm not a politics girly, but the people that need to make these changes are in the government. And they tend to be making a lot of money and they tend to have really good government funded health insurance programs. And they have no idea. And it feels like they don't really care. Maybe somebody does, but I don't know. It's just not on their radar. They don't see it for the emergent situation that I believe it to be as someone who lives with it daily. And I talk to other people all the time about it, and they all would agree with me. But when you're making hundreds of $millions in the government and you have free health insurance that's good, this becomes very low priority, in my opinion. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'll talk to Terry about that too, because she actually worked in DC on policy, insurance policy, medical policy, and things like that. So she's a very interesting story and a lot to share with us. So that again will be in part 2. So short episode this week. I will fill you in on everything. There might be a part 3, depending on how this whole thing works out. I might do a part 2 would just be my update on insurance and what we ended up doing. And that would be just a quick little episode. And then part 3 would be Terry and her experience with it all. So, I like to roll with things and see how they go, but that's probably what it'll look like. if we have an update. If we don't, then we don't. But yeah, thanks. Y'all have a great week, and I will see y'all soon.
Before we wrap up today's episode, I just want to say thank you for being here and spending this time with me. If this conversation resonated with you, it would mean so much to me if you'd follow or subscribe to the Autoimmune Mom podcast wherever you're listening, and take a minute to leave a review. It really helps other moms who are navigating autoimmune disease find this space. And if you know of another mom who might need to hear this message, please share the episode with her. You can also connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Autoimmune Mom Podcast, where I share encouragement, resources, and up-to-date updates on new episodes. And don't forget, you can download my free Autoimmune Mom Survival Guide using the link in my bio on my socials. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and I'll see you next week at the Autoimmune Mom Podcast. Take care of yourself, Mama. Your health matters too.